President Trump calling on employers nationwide to match the government contributions into the newly formed Trump accounts. The tax-free accounts established in the One Big Beautiful Bill puts $1,000 into investment accounts for all American children born between 2025 and 2028, the so-called golden years. At least 25 million families said to be eligible. Several companies already agreeing to match the contributions, including Bank of America, among others. Visa, meanwhile, building a platform allowing credit card holders to deposit cash-back rewards directly into those accounts. Joining me now is Kentucky Congressman Andy Barr, member of the House Financial Services Committee. Congressman, good to see you. What do you think about this idea?
Good morning. I think it's brilliant. I think it's just another reason why President Trump is the most transformational and consequential president of my lifetime. It's why this Republican majority in Congress is a transformational Congress, that we're making a massive change that will jumpstart the American dream for millions of young people. I'm personally pretty excited because I had my fourth child in October, and little baby Virginia is going to get a Trump account. This is huge. It's huge because not only because it harnesses the power and miracle of compound interest for millions of Americans and provides Americans with a jump start for savings, for college, for home ownership, to start a business, using compound interest and using savings. But here's what I love about it, Maria. This is going to provide an entire generation with financial literacy that they otherwise wouldn't have. And it is the worst nightmare for AOC, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and the far left, the socialist. Mamdani hates this because it's going to teach a whole new generation to be investors, owners, savers, and yes, capitalists. This is going to create a whole new generation of Americans who believe in the power of investing, and that is a great thing.
I love the idea. I agree with you on all of that, actually. And it's nice to get some financial literacy. Children will be able to follow along as they get older and understand about investing much earlier. I want to switch gears, ask you about foreign policy. The president has warned Iran that a so-called armada is moving toward the country, urging Tehran to make a deal on its nuclear program again or face major military attack. The president writes on Truth Social, quote, hopefully Iran will quickly come to the table and negotiate a fair and equitable deal. No nuclear weapons, one that is good for all parties. The president goes on, time is running out. Iran, of course, rejecting this negotiation. Its foreign minister writes on X, quote, our brave armed forces are prepared with their fingers on the trigger to immediately and powerfully respond to any aggression against our beloved land, air, and sea. Your thoughts?
Well, the massacre of the protesters by Tehran is something we've seen for the last 40 years with this regime of terror, the mullahs in Tehran, which have suppressed free speech and protest within their own country. But thanks to this administration, we've restored deterrence. We've liberated, largely working with Israel, liberated the hostages in Gaza because we've, with President Trump's leadership, dismantled Iran's nuclear program, reinstalling and reinstating maximum pressure and sanctions on that regime really was what gave us the leverage and gave President Trump the leverage to end the war in Israel and Gaza. And then look at what he just did, and a lot of credit to Secretary Rubio yesterday for his testimony in explaining the goal of the operation in Venezuela. It was not just to get rid of an indicted narco-terrorist in our own hemisphere, but dismantle the primary base of operation for Iran in our own hemisphere. So maximum pressure with sanctions, but also depriving Iran of those oil revenues is a big step forward in restoring deterrence.
Well, do you want the president to do anything more? I mean, look, the president said, help is on the way. We're with you, to the people of Iran. Now, they are all waiting for President Trump to do something else, like take out Khomeini. Do you want to see President Trump and the military do something aggressive like that?
Well, the great thing about this president is he's not going to telegraph what he's going to do. And he has restored deterrence. He's restored strength. He's restored peace through strength. But he recognizes that this regime has been a menace, not just in the Middle East, but chance death to America. And I have every confidence that this president has the resolve to do what it takes to deter this enemy of the United States, an enemy of the free world.
Well, I mean, is China also an enemy? I mean, look what's going on now with China undermining the U.S. continually. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer arrived in China, marking the first visit by a British Prime Minister since 2018. Keir told Xi Jinping he wants to build, quote, sophisticated relationship with Beijing to bolster security and the economy, Congressman. Well, good luck with that, UK.
Well, yeah, exactly. And look, China is an adversary, no doubt about it. They're a huge market, but they are a massive adversary, and they have a goal. And the goal is to replace the United States as the world's global superpower. They want to take over Taiwan, not just because of their historical grievances with that island democracy, but because they want to dominate the world's most advanced semiconductors. 90% of the world's most advanced semiconductors come from Taiwan.
I know.
It is essential that the United States deter that kind of aggression. We had a hearing in the Foreign Affairs Committee, and former Deputy National Security Advisor Matt Pottinger described what the ramifications would be of a Chinese annexation of Taiwan because of their semiconductor prowess. And he said basically it's the kill switch on the entire American tech economy.
Wow.
Thank goodness President Trump has taken the China threat seriously, both in terms of the economic warfare that they have engaged with the West, but also their buildup of their military.
Yeah, I mean,
the United States.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, the United States has the best Navy in the world, but China has the largest Navy in the world, and they have a shipbuilding advantage over the United States. We need to change that.
Which is what President Trump has been trying to do for sure. But Secretary of State Rubio testified for nearly 3 hours before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee yesterday on policy of Venezuela. He talked about China. Here's a bit. Watch.
The president never rules out his options as commander-in-chief to protect the national interest of the United States. I can tell you right now with full certainty, we are not postured to, nor do we intend or expect to have to take any military action in Venezuela at any time. The only military presence you'll see in Venezuela is our Marine Guards at an embassy. Okay, that is our goal. That is our expectation. We just want it to be a normal, prosperous country again, not a playground for Iran, Russia, and China in our own hemisphere. This is ultimately going to be on the Venezuelan people and Venezuelan society and Venezuelan leaders to make this happen. We're going to be there to help and assist and create the parameters for it.
Yeah, the president knows exactly who the bad guys are and taking them down one by one. But look, you've got issues with colleagues in terms of funding, right? I mean, the Senate is expected to hold a government funding test vote later this morning. Democrats are threatening another partial government shutdown at the end of the week if no changes are made to the administration's crackdown on illegal immigration. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer rolling out his list of demands. Watch this. Watch this, sir.
Our caucus is unified over 3 main legislative objectives. First, we want to end roving patrols. We need to tighten the rules governing the use of warrants and require ICE's coordination with state and local law enforcement. Second, we want to enforce accountability. Third, we want masks off, body cameras on.
No mention there of no accountability for a wide-open border. But, Congressman, government funding is set to expire tomorrow at midnight. What are you going to do? What are you expecting?
Well, you would have thought that the Democrats would have learned their lesson from shutting down the government and hurting the American people the last time. It looks like the Democrats and Chuck Schumer are more interested in shutting down ICE than actually doing their jobs, funding the government, protecting the American people. And look, we have a long tradition in this country of nonviolent protest, but that's not what we've seen in Minneapolis. You would think
I know,
that,
but sir, look, you got to admit, two innocent people are dead. I mean, do you think that there should be changes?
Oh, well, well, of course. I mean, the tragedy is terrible, but what we don't want is Americans engaging in violent confrontation, breaking the law. It's wrong, but it's also illegal to obstruct federal law enforcement. And why is ICE in Minneapolis to begin with? Because of rampant fraud by illegal immigrants. I'm grateful that the president is trying to honor American taxpayers, clean up the mess. Yeah. And I'm thankful that he sent in Homan to de-escalate. I would hope Democrat leaders would also call on their constituents to engage in nonviolent, not violent protest against law enforcement.
I mean, you can't resist an officer or an agent and get in their faces. I mean, and why are they doing that? Because Tim Walz and other government officials, Democrats, told them to do so. This has got to stop.
Exactly.
The Democrats have lit the match here. Congressman, we'll keep following it all. Thanks so much. Great to see you as always, sir. Congressman Andy Barr.